I'd like to welcome everybody to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. Thank you for taking time to be here this Sunday. Well, that sounds awful loud. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just an echo up here. I'd like to ask you to please silence your cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. I'm Reverend Steve Adkins. I'm the pastor of the church. Quick housekeeping rules. The restrooms are down the hall. Quick right, quick left. Cold drinks in the fridge. Hot drinks on the table. Donuts and snacks back there. Help yourself at any time during the service. We don't really stand on ceremony here. Only request is to have a good time and feel the spirit. I'd like to have Joyce light the candles symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit to start the service. We go body, mind, and spirit left to right, so I guess the body just wasn't wanting to be here right off the bat. So we stand for the invocation or remain standing for the first time. Join me in an attitude of prayer. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this time here today. May we relax our minds, let go of all that brought us here and all that's waiting for us when we leave. May we be here in this moment of joy, peace, and happiness. May we feel your presence and feel the upliftment and comfort that comes with that. May we feel the truth and the hope that all are brought here with them today. Amen.
Amen. Number 4 in the garden. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God is closest, and He walks with me and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks and the sound of His voice is so sweet, the birds hush their singing, and the melody that He gave to me within my heart is ringing, and He walks with me and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with Him, though the night around me is falling, but He bids me go through the voice of woe. His voice to me is calling, and He walks with me and He talks with me. He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
Please be seated. The next portion of the service is a thought for the day from the pastor. This is where I put something into a spiritual perspective that I've encountered the week before. I call it turning spiritual knowledge into spiritual wisdom. For those of you that don't know the difference between wisdom and knowledge, knowledge is knowing that tomatoes are fruit, wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. So it's putting things into practice in the real world. This past week, for those of you that know me, you know I've had a lot of challenges professionally and personally the last couple of weeks. And it was kind of interesting because I was involved in a trance session, which I don't do trance, but other people I know do. And what I do is I generate the energy for it. I'm kind of like the control, and I make the atmosphere conducive to people going into trance. I don't do trance myself. And during this process, what I do is I observe what's going on with my mediumship, not just my conscious mind and senses. And when the people were going into trance, I had a revelation given to me about some of the personal difficulties that I'm going through. And this isn't always the case, but sometimes this is what happens. As people go through a profound spiritual shift in their life inwardly, it radiates outwardly, and things that were acceptable and tolerable are no longer acceptable and tolerable to you as that spirituality begins to push its way outward and try to create harmony where there's disharmony. Now, people think that spiritual progression is one that produces harmony, and that's true, but in its action sometimes it's a little disruptive to what you think about the world and what you accept about the world. And that's the difficulty that people go through with spiritual awakening and spiritual progression, is that inner awareness tries to push outward and their outer self refuses to budge. And there's a lot of turmoil in your life. There's a lot of difficulty, a renewal of old hurts, a renewal of old thoughts of things that you thought you had resolved. So as this spirituality pushes outward, it tries to move on these areas of disharmony that have been acceptable before. While this made me feel better as a overall knowing of the process, I still was a little bit conflicted personally by the things I had to go through. But when I saw this totality of the process, it made me feel comforting to know that it wasn't just me causing these situations. It wasn't my shortcomings causing these situations. It was a spiritual progression that was trying to move me forward into a new understanding about my life. And that lessened some of the frustration. That lessened a lot of the self-blame that was going on with me about what was happening to me and the people around me. And I guess one of the indications of this that I found, there are times when you will challenge yourself personally with things, quit smoking, eat better, those kinds of things, where there are going to be some conflicts, but this is a deeper type of thing that I'm talking about. And the way that I was able to discern the difference, this came to me in meditation too, was when you are involved in a personal conflict, and there seems to be no resolution, and everything you're trying to do does not work, then it's probably this deeper pushing of the spiritual change, trying to move out and move these difficulties out of your awareness, move them on. And the only thing you can do with that is to just bear it, be positive as you can about it, and have faith that it's going to come to pass. Because it is a process that will have its own life and will have its own timeline for curing itself. And nothing that you can do, nothing that you can say will speed it up, slow it down, or make it better. Knowing that this is the true spiritual inner principle of God working within your life, and that at the end of the road, you will become a much happier person is what bears me forward. And as I said last week, and I guess that put me into that space, was the only thing that gets me through these times. I don't have the option of drinking or doing drugs. I stepped away from that back in my 30s. That's not a solution for me. The only thing that gets me through that is my idea of myself, my idea of the world around me, and my philosophy of how God or the Creator Spirit works with all of that. So this is just a next step in that. And I just ask you to think about these things and Thank you for listening. Please stand for the next hymn.
Number 9, I'll fly away.
Some bad mornings when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home out to rest restore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away when the shadows of this life have gone. I'll fly away like a bird driven by a storm. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to the land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away.
All right. Please be seated. Happy amen all the way over there.
It's expanding.
Yes, it is. Well, we won't have Lori's presence here next Sunday. She's going to a professional job in Georgia. So if you get a chance to talk to her, and wish her well on her journey and her new event that she's going through. The next portion of the service is the healing portion, and Ashkhen will lead us in that. And we got quite a few people, so I'll have Judy, Lorraine, and Ann work today. The way this works for people that are new to the church is you have a seat over there, the healers work with you. During the meditation that Ashkhen's going to be doing while that healing's going on, you'll hear this, which means that a healing chair has become vacant. So you can enjoy the meditation and you can enjoy the effort of the healers with spiritual healing if you would like. If there's no chair up here when you look over, there's 3 chairs in the back, and I'll just move people forward as the healing progresses. So we'll start the service by reading the prayer for spiritual healing on the mat together in bold. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit. Relax your body. Make sure there is no tension. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. With your exhale, just release and let go. If there is any tension in your physical body, you are experiencing any pain or ache or discomfort, with your exhale, just breathe it out and let it go. Let go of the thoughts that are on your mind. If you have any worries, any concerns at this time, with your breath, just breathe it out. Let it go. Bring your awareness to your breath. Engage with the mechanism of your breath. Just feel the motion of your breath. As you breathe in, feel the energy that is nourishing your entire body, from head to toe. With each breath, feel your body becoming more and more relaxed. And your mind quiet. Follow your breath. That is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself, to a very quiet and peaceful presence within. That feels calm and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence while you breathe. Repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. I am at peace within and with my surroundings. Feel peaceful sensations flowing along with your breath while you repeat, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. embrace this peaceful aspect of your consciousness. This is your divine presence, the true state of your consciousness. You are meant to be at peace always, regardless of what goes around in your surroundings. You are meant to be at peace. Embrace this peaceful state of your being and be still. Be still within. For it is in this stillness that you sense wholeness. It is in the silence and the quietness you feel content. Content with who you are. You are an infinite being, a multi-dimensional being. Embrace this infinite aspect of your being. Feel your breath. Connecting with your heart chakra in the center of your chest. Become aware of your heart chakra. Feel your heart chakra. See it as a beautiful lotus with multiplying petals. Feel your heart chakra expand and contracting with each breath. As you connect deeper to the core of your heart, you feel your essence. Your essence. There is the presence of God within your heart. As you connect, you feel God's unconditional love and compassion. Love is your essence. Connect with your essence. And feel God's loving energy flowing through your heart chakra. Flowing from within and without. Feel God's loving energy embracing you, comforting you, healing you. Feel the warmth and the gentleness of this pure loving energy flowing from your essence. And embracing outside your physical body and connecting to the person next to you. Feel this energy moving gently, filling this entire room with warmth and loving vibrations. See the energy extending outside this room and flowing everywhere, reaching the ocean, the nature, the minerals, the plants, the animals. Feel this healing energy, God's loving energy, moving gently, embracing humanity everywhere around the world. Envision Mother Earth embraced with this loving energy. See the energy extending further out to the universe, connecting with the planets, with the stars, with the moon, with the sun, and extending high to the higher dimensions of light, to the cosmic realms, all the way to the divine source of oneness. Feel your connection to this entire creation. And while you breathe, feel everything, everybody, breathing with the same breath, the breath of God, the breath of love. Feel the universal consciousness. Feel the universal love. Becoming as one unified force that is holding us together as one consciousness. Though we are in individual bodies and realities, yet in spirit, we are all connected. We are all one. Feel that oneness, consciousness. Feel that oneness in your heart. Surrender to your sacred heart. Surrender to the sacred love that is within your heart. There is one true power, the power of love. The power of love that heals. The power of love that forgives. The power of love that unites. Embrace to your divinity. Embrace to your sacred heart. And surrender to the will of God. With God, all things are possible. Surrender to the will of God. Let thy will be done, God, in the highest place. Let thy will be done. As Allah, so be done. In times of need, ask God to give you the serenity to accept the things that you cannot change, to give you the courage what you can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. With God, all things are possible. Let thy will be done. Let thy will be done. Feel the presence of God in your heart, empowering you, strengthening you, providing you with your needs, and with the knowing that everything is in divine order, in divine timing. Surrender to the will of God and allow God to be in action within you through your thinking process, with your work, and with your interaction with others, for it to be for the highest good of all. Let go and let God be. Feel the harmonious vibrations that are flowing from within you and around you. Feel the peaceful breath that you are breathing. Integrate those vibrations, this loving energy, into your physical reality. And wherever you are, whatever you do, just be the love that you are. Be the love that you are. And so it is. Feel your breath slowly bringing you back. Become aware of your physical body. Engage with your physical senses. Come back to the here and now. Integrate those vibrations here. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thanks to Ashkhen and healers for that wonderful portion of the service. I'll close this portion with an inspirational reading. Rest now until life, eternal life, flowing through your veins, heart, and mind, bids you to bestir yourself. Then glad work will follow. Tired work is never effective. The strength of God's Spirit is always available to the tired mind and body. God is your physician and your healer. Look to these quiet times of communion for God, for rest, for peace, and for cure, and arise refreshed, knowing you have all the strength needed. Please stand for the next time.
Hymn number 1. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
I just have to speak up. The next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Hargobind returning. Some of his accomplishments: he is a Kundalini Yoga instructor, Ayurvedic Health Specialist, Vedic Astrologer, and practitioner of sound vibrational healing. He uses the gong and Kundalini Yoga to cleanse the chakras in the auric field. I've been to a couple of his sessions across the river there, and so some of the others here, and it's a wonderful combination of the two. He's here to speak today. Besides all that, he's a really nice person to talk to. Always smiling, so let's welcome Hargobind and see what he has to share with us.
That's working, right?
Yes.
Grab some water here, folks. Yeah, I do teach Kundalini Yoga. I have been doing it across the bridge for a while. Kim right here is she is a solid student, man. She will come to every class. You got to be something really wrong if Kim doesn't show up. So it's always nice to have a few people that always show up. That always help to provide that energy. And it's like with these groups, any of these great groups that you have, I mean, everybody's together for this higher purpose. And so you know how it is when if there's more than one person, this thing is amplified. So, I don't know, we got 25, 30 people there. It's really amplifying whatever we do. And, I mean, everybody is helping to uplift the collective consciousness of humanity by doing these things. So it's great when people show up to participate in these kind of things. So let me explain to you a little bit about Kundalini Yoga and the gong. So in Kundalini Yoga, you notice I wear white, and I'm wearing beads, and I also wear a white cap. Usually I'll wear that when I'm teaching. And it all looks very religious, and it is if you take it from the perspective of the Khalsa or the Sikh tradition, where they are very religious. You can also use this yoga completely without religion. That's how I use it. I use the technology of all of it, so there's no religion in this for me. The only thing about this is that you do have to have faith to try these things. Like if I ask you to join me in a mantra, it's great if you give it a try. And I'm also going to ask that we tune in with this mantra, and it's OMG. It's Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And the technology of mantra is you have this vibration of what you're saying. It's good to understand pronunciation too. You don't necessarily have to know what it means. What that one means, though, is that we're tuning into our individual divine wisdom. That's, of course, it's collective, but we're humans, so we have this duality of being a human. So we're tuning into our divinity inside. We're tuning into our inner teacher, the guru. So that is the teacher as guru. Back to the technology of it, when we use a mantra, like when I say guru, G-U-R-U. So if you just say guru, you'll notice there's a huge difference in saying guru and saying guru. The energy just changes. You're hitting these meridians on the roof of your mouth. So if you think of your tongue as being a keyboard on a computer, and that's the part of the tongue is inputting into the computer, which is your brain. So as your tongue hits these different meridians, like in Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, you feel each one of those. Your lips are involved too, like when you say Guru, you feel a slight vibration on the lips. All of this is important for moving energy. So that's what we want to do. We want to get into this, what's called the nod. The nod is the sound current. This is the sound that created everything. This is the sound of creation. It's back to any kind of a mantra, like if you're just doing Om, you're creating that vibration of the nod. The nod is a very important place to be because what its main job, like of the gong, is this helps to release subconscious mind garbage. So we have so much garbage that we're always putting in. So if you're sitting looking at a cell phone all day long and texting all day long, looking at a screen all day long, this is all taking energy from your body. It's all pulling you away from what we are intended to be, which is a spirit, not a human being that's programmed by a device. And we have so many devices programming us all the time, like water, for instance. You drink water out of a tap or even out of a plastic bottle, you're getting all kinds of chemicals. Fluoride is used to program humans. That's why it's in the water. You're not going to hear anybody tell you that, but that's what it's there for. So the only way to get away from fluoride, the only way that I know of, is to go with reverse osmosis. So you're pulling 99% of the fluoride out. It's not that expensive if you have a system put in your house. And then you have something like this, which you're not going to pick up any toxins out of this. You don't want plastic. Even if it's BP-free, you're still getting poisons, especially if you leave it in your car. Now it's cooking the plastic, and all those poisons are going in the water, then you're drinking the water. And we're creating huge problems for this planet by using any plastic. No unbottled water. Yesterday made my 3rd bottled water for this year, like a regular plastic bottle. I have my customers, I do computer work, and they offer me bottled water all the time, and I refuse it unless it's a total emergency, then I'll take it. So I had 3 emergencies this year where I had to drink out of a plastic bottle. So I'm kind of getting off the track of Kundalini Yoga, but that's something that, like Judy has come to a lot of my classes, and she knows I'll spend a little bit of time talking about things that are important to people, because a lot of people don't realize these programming devices are in play, like chemtrails, when you see the planes flying back and forth and put these crazy patterns in the sky. They're dumping chemicals. They're on little tiny pieces of paper that have been magnetized to hold things like barium, aluminum, other heavy metals, and use them along in tandem with the heart antenna. So they're trying to control the weather with it. It's called geoengineering. They're trying to control the weather. And that's why we're having droughts and all these other things, because they're playing around with things that man is not intended to play with. I mean, come on. Who's going to do something better than the Creator? Who's going to make a seed that can do something better than the Creator can do? It's not possible. Okay, I'm done with that. Otherwise, I'll spend the whole time talking about that. So anyways, let me get you all to tune in with this mantra. And it also helps me to be more focused and clear on what I want to talk about in Kundalini. So the other thing we use too is, like I said, it's all technology. It's like when we bring the left and the right hands together in prayer pose. The reason we do that is because we're bringing the left and the right hemispheres of the brain together so that we can create a space for non-duality. So there's no duality in that. The other thing too is that the heart center is the new brain for this age. So there's no duality here. And there's science on the heart that the magnetic field of the heart is 500 times more powerful and the magnetic field of the brain. So why not come here? You're going to have all your best answers right here. And every one of us has the Sacred Heart of Christ right here. Everybody does, whether you know it or not. Each one of us is a walking Christ. And we have this beautiful energy here. And there's something I want to teach you too. It's just a quick thing you can do to shift through any kind of a problem. It's to use your heart as an apparatus for change. So your physical heart is next to your spiritual heart. So what we do is just breathe through the nose, and we inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. And that's what we do most of the time in Kundalini anyways. So as we inhale through the nose, we feel that on the exhale through the nose, that the breath is coming out across the heart. So like I said, think of this as an apparatus for change, because it's very powerful. Nobody has to know you're doing this. You can aim this energy towards someone that's having a problem. You can be in some kind of a crazy situation and just start doing this heart breath, and you'll see the change. So let's just try that a little bit. You can leave your eyes open. You just inhale and exhale normally, but just feel the energy come out across your heart. And the thing that helps me with it too is that, if you ever see that picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, if you want to use that picture in your mind, then you're bringing across that heart. And that's where the transformation is coming in. This is also a great healing device. So if you need something that needs to be healed, or you want to help heal someone, this will do it. If you have any kind of questions, come to your heart. Answers in your heart. Everything in this day and age, where we're at in the age of Aquarius, is all about the heart. It's not about anything else. Running around trying to make money and trying to store up money and trying to be rich and those kind of things, those belong to the age of the Pisces. That age is gone. So anyone who tries to still live in the age of Pisces will suffer greatly, because you're going against a huge energy. The age of Aquarius, you're not going to stop that. We're only going deeper and deeper into it. So very soon, probably in September, maybe a little bit later, we're coming into some things that you will see that, probably a lot of you already see it anyways. We're going through huge changes. All right, so I'm going to ask you now to join me in tuning in with this mantra. The Om Namo Buddhaya Namo. We're going to do it 3 times. So if you want to, you don't have to, but bring your hands in prayer pose. And you'll find a little notch where the back of your thumbs will fit in your sternum. So if you press against that, the vagus nerve is in there. It goes through there. The vagus nerve is called the wandering nerve. So it wanders through there. That's one of the points it hits. And when we press against it, this is giving the body the command to relax. So we're going to have our eyes closed and with our gaze focused on the third eye point. Or if you know how to lock the optic nerve, which means when you lock the optic nerve, it just means that your eyes are rolled completely into your third eye. Doesn't matter if you can do that or not, just give focus. And then inhale deeply to begin the mantra. Om Namo That's the other thing too in my classes, I always invite everyone to have an experience, because there's nothing for you to try to believe it. Just have some faith to try these things, like with the heart breath. You can try that heart breath. You may find that something happens right away. Some people just feel it right away, and some people might have to work it longer. I had to work it a little bit longer probably because at the time I started using it was 2009. And you know how it is with any of this spiritual practice, it takes some time because some of it is trained. You know, you're coming to a new way of thinking. So you're reworking everything. Everything's being reworked for you. Like with Kundalini Yoga, when we use these mantras and you do the kriyas, I mean, they're unbelievably transformative. And that's why I teach Kundalini Yoga. I've taken other yogas, but they don't do what Kundalini does, not at the speed that it does. It's a highly accelerated yoga. It's called a Raj Yoga, which means it's a royal yoga. It's also the king of yoga. And it's also the original yoga. So if you do any kind of study, or you probably already know about it, you'll find that Kundalini is the first yoga. It's also called the mother of all yogas. So right after that, then Hatha Yoga was developed pretty much at the same time. But even though you take those two yogas, and the Hatha will take much longer to move the Kundalini. So the Kundalini energy, everyone has this energy. It's stored at the fourth vertebrae of the chakra. So it's at the lower part of your spine. And it lies there dormant until we do something to break it free and move it. We want it to move. We want it to move up through our chakras. So as it moves, it's going to make some serious changes for you. The chakras start becoming in line. You start, instead of living from the lower triangle, also you can think of the chakras as two triangles. The bottom one is facing down, then you have the heart in the middle, then you have the other three chakras facing out, with the triangle pointing up. So what we're wanting to do, because we're living down in the lower chakras, we're mostly living in our root chakra or in our sex chakra. That's where our whole society is coming from. So we want to be able to squeeze that energy up and start living from, at least from our heart. So we want to be living between here and here, not lower. Because we've been doing that for too many years, thousands of years, and it's time to move that up, and it's time for humans to change. But it feels really good when you start coming from your heart. It just feels great. Things change, you feel more relaxed, you enjoy life, you just start having fun. Like for me to come up here and talk to you guys, I mean, I'm totally relaxed talking to you. There's no nervousness for me or anything. I'm tuned into the gurus of this lineage, and I feel great up here, and I love each one of you, I know that every person here is a part of the soul stream. You're a part of the knot, you're a part of the sound stream. Everybody's a part of that, but we sit here as individuals. And that's, I think, one of the hardest part of humanity is having the duality that we have. And that's coming back to moving into the heart. When you move into the heart, the duality's gone. And that feels like a great thing, too, for the duality to be gone. So, I'm getting ready to play the gong. And the main thing on the gong, I believe I already said it, but it clears the subconscious mind. So we really want to work on clearing the subconscious mind. You can do this in other ways, as long as you're in the knot, the sound current. There's lots of ways to be in the sound current. There's a lot of beautiful music that puts you in the sound current. There's a lot of different vibrational instruments that will put you in the sound current. There's people's voices like Ashkhen, who puts you in the sound current by the vibration that comes from her. She has this beautiful vibration that comes from her heart that puts you right in the knot. Steve does it too when he's up here talking. I mean, they're great, both of them are great teachers, and they have that beautiful energy. And there's other people that I work with too that I know have that beautiful nod coming from them. Judy too. Judy does some beautiful things, unbelievable. You go to her drum circle, it's awesome. Or the talking stick ceremony, everything she does is just beautiful. And Ashkhen too. Her meditations are great. Okay, so let me just talk about one more thing a little bit about the problem with the subconscious mind. And a good example of it is you're trying to go to sleep. You have this thought that keeps going round and round. You got some kind of problem you're trying to solve. You can come up with like 6, 10 different solutions. None of them work. So that comes back to what Ashkhen was just talking about with the serenity prayer. Is that's got to be something you can't do anything about. Why are you running this around your brain when you need to be sleeping? You start listening to the gong or doing something else that takes you into the knot, you do it every day, it clears it. I don't have that problem. For me, I go lay down and go to sleep. And then the other thing too is getting to bed by 10 o'clock. It's important to be asleep at 10 o'clock. And it has to do with a whole other thing with energies, with Ayurveda, and we don't have so much time. So I don't want to talk about all that. But 10 o'clock is important to be asleep by. So I'm usually asleep between 10 and 10:30. But by the time I'm in my bed, maybe 5 after 10, I might take 10 minutes to go to sleep. Sometimes it's 2 minutes. Sometimes it's about 40 seconds. I don't have any time for all of that. I don't want to do that. My mind does not want to do that anymore. It doesn't care about that. But the other thing that's really important too, that you do something every morning. If you think you're too late, it's because you need this. You need yoga. You need to help transform yourself. Everybody has way more time than what you think you have. When you say you don't have enough time for that, you're not being honest with yourself. You have time to do anything you want to do. When you start doing yoga, you have less need for sleep. I sleep about 4 hours, and I might take a 10-minute nap. And I feel fine. I could work all day, but I take good care of myself too. You know, I take some good herbs. I grow a lot of my own food and make sure I eat clean. If I get into situations that aggravate me, I don't need to be there. I'm not there. If I'm around people that I don't need to be around and they're causing me problems, those are not the people I hang out with. You know? It's just like with alcoholism, which, you know, I've been through AA, and I'm not had a drink for 20 years. But the thing, part of that about AA is you don't hang around with those same people. You know, you're not going to go to the bar when you quit drinking, you know. You're just not going to do that. All right, I'm going to play some gong. Oh yeah, the other thing about the gong too is I tune into this with 3 mantras. I do it silently. And the thing of it is too, while I'm playing the gong, that mantra is always coming from my heart. So what this tool is, it's actually amplifying the vibration that's coming from the mantra. And that's another part of wearing the white, because I want my energy to be very clean, because this is amplifying my energy, and that's what's coming out to me. So if someone is playing gong, it doesn't go through these different things that you need to do with the mantra, then the gong playing is not going to be beneficial to you. So you can actually be damaged by bad gong playing, but you're not going to get that. So you can do what you want here. You can close your eyes, or you can watch. It's up to you. And the thing of it is too, is that the gong will help you to release anything that you want to release, anything emotional, physical, and don't worry about anybody else's energy, because the vibration of the gong will take that energy and turn it into something usable. That's the other thing too, is I don't see bad energy and good energy. I see useful energy and energy that's not useful. So it just changes it to an energy that can be used. And I have other gongs that are bigger, that put out more energy than that. But, I mean, a little gong is pretty awesome for being so small. You need that kind of energy. Also, I wanted to mention that I have CDs, and I brought my CDs with me, if anybody would like one. They're $10. It's 50. Oh, well, thanks. Brewers would all know what they're digging about. So that's kind of like picking up the phone and thinking alcohol. So we're going to use one long sut and a short knob, and it just means truth is mine. So inhale deeply. Sut!